Hey, my loves, I'm coming right now. Give me 1 second. I had just come back from Puerto Rico, and I had bought my things some beautiful fans, as you can see, and I just was giving some of them out. So I hope you all are well. We're going to talk about some very interesting things. What's good, Mel? We're going to talk about some interesting things today. Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a second. I'm going to let TikTok in. And we're going to get started. We have a lot to discuss. So let me just start off by saying I didn't do the elements this week because I was away at Puerto Rico. And then when I came back, my dad had a heart attack. And he got 3 stents put in yesterday, so I couldn't do the elements yesterday. And I actually have a very important appointment this afternoon, so I don't have time to do the whole elements today. But what we are going to discuss is this Mercury retrograde that begins at the end of this week on Friday, and the fact that what's also behind that, what's good, fairy dancer, what comes behind that is going to be Neptune into Aries, I believe, at the end of the month. So this is big energy. And although Mercury goes into retrograde all the time, what's good, project, execute, I feel like this is going to be a little different because of some of the other transits that we have going on. So I'm just going to go over some of them briefly. And I want to preface this by saying that I am a spiritist, but I know a lot about astrology. Okay? So, we have the fixed signs, and we have Pluto in Aquarius. And yes, the age of Aquarius has begun, but it hasn't taken fully root. I believe, my belief is that it will be in full force when the North Node goes into Aquarius. And I believe that is sometime next year. Okay, then we'll be fully anchored in the age of Aquarius. What we are in right now, because Pluto has 20-year transits, right, is getting rooted in that, is showing us what to expect, right? So with that said, with Mars that has spent most of the year in retrograde between Leo and Cancer, right? And now that retrograde is over and it is now starting to trek back into Leo, it won't happen until April 17th. Now, why am I saying that specific date to you? I want you to pay attention. This is very important. April 17th is when Mars will enter Leo again. And when that happens, it will trigger an opposition to Pluto immediately. Okay? These are 2 fixed signs. While that is happening, it will also be creating a square to Uranus in Taurus, and with the star of angle. Okay? Which is the off with your head star. Okay? So there's a system that is going to try to turn things in their favor. And then there are those of us that are trying to stand in the storm of that and prevent that from happening. Now, it may seem to the masses, and it's true, that we are under attack to keep liberties, but this is only because the structures of old are fighting for their fucking lives, and they know it. Okay? And so they're willing to use whatever tools they have to use to, to gain said power or to keep said power. And their willingness to do so is actually causing them to be exposed. Right? So it's having the opposite effect that it was intended. They really felt like a lot of people would be in agreement. Okay? So we're going to put that over there. But I want to tell you what's coming now. So if you've been on TikTok or any kind of social media, I'm sure you've seen that people are saying that they're trying to draw out a specific demographic to hit the street so that they can implement certain methodologies to gain control, if you follow what I'm saying, right? And as a collective, we have refrained from taking said invitation, right? And we're kind of biding our time because we're like, the other people got to go outside first, and they got to, clean up their own wheelhouse, right? Well, that has been in somewhat happening, although it's not being necessarily shown to the masses, right? So while all of this is happening, this Mercury retrograde is going to hit. Now, we already have Venus retrograde in happening. This is the ain't no love lost. This is the I fight for what I love. I fight for what I believe in. This is the I'm willing to stand on business. Venus retrograde. It's in Aries. Okay. And it's going to trek back into Pisces. Okay. Which is going to expose some internal things. Now, Mercury retrograde, which starts on Friday, and we're already in the shadow of that, is going to kick off, like I said, on Friday. And with a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde in the same house of Aries, it's going to be saying what communication has been misdirected or misleading, or what could someone be using as a weapon or manipulation, and the Venus retrograde in that could be calling for us to fight for what we love. I feel like there'll be lines drawn in the sand in the next 3 weeks. Mercury retrograde lasts 3 weeks with 2 weeks on either side of it for a shadow. Thank you guys for coming on in. Come on in, right? So what is this saying? The next 3 weeks, there will be a lot going on that has to do with no love lost, people standing on business, and maybe the uncovering of hidden communication for what's the right word? Strategic. So don't be surprised if you hear about backdoor communications between, like, secret communications being exposed. Okay? Don't be surprised if you see alliances that are not supposed to be alliances exposed, especially conversations, whether they be electronic or not, emails. On a personal level, there may be some people coming back into your sphere because they need to finish something up or wrap something up. If you are in a relationship, there could be something that needs to be exposed to move forward, right? I'm going to give you an example. I don't know why the fuck this just popped in my head, right? Let's say you have a friend and you're real close with this person, and you have a partner and they don't get along, right? They don't get along, and your friend is always shitting on your partner or saying negative things. And then your partner, like, tries to take the hits or, never responds. Then you have a fallout with that friend. A year later, you find out that that person's real problem with your partner was that maybe they were attracted to them, or it's like for another reason, right? They wanted you away from that person, or it's not based on that person, that there was a hidden motivation, right? Right? Or vice versa, right? That your partner didn't like your friend because they were attracted to them, right? It could be either way. Point is, this is discovery time of subversive things that may have been going on. And with the Neptune in Aries, that's talking about hidden enemies. That's talking about things coming to light that you didn't know that could have been working against you, and that they're being brought to your attention now so that you could like push forward or finally break free from something that has been holding you back. This could be the thing. What's good, Rose? This could be the thing that causes, on a collective basis, something to be brought to the fore, something to be told to the masses, that causes them to recognize that it is no longer time to be quiet, right? It could be the thing that makes us realize, like, oh, that's what they were doing. That's why that happened. Oh, this is the real plan. Oh, now we know there's a tape of them talking, or you understand? So I wanted to do a little live about that. I wanted to do a live about that because I think the Neptune the Neptune into Aries is at the end of the month, right? Meaning we're already in shadow. We already have the Venus retrograde going on. Mercury retrograde begins Friday. We have Mars trekking out of Cancer trying to get into Leo. This is big dog energy. And that feeling that we've all had, I don't know why my nose is itching so much. that energy that we all felt at the beginning of the year of something not being known. Like there's something right there. What's that thing right there, right there, right there? We're about to uncover that shit. And that Neptune into Aries, this is a 14-year cycle. So what does that mean? How much will you find out about yourself? Because Aries is the house of self, right? How much will you find out about yourself in these next 14 years? And the undoing, maybe how you undo yourself, right? Now, also, you can look at where Aries falls in your chart. I'm going to give you a way to look at what area this 14-year cycle will be touching on for you. Okay, so where will your Neptune in Aries hit? What area of your life? This is how you look at that. You look at where Aries is in your birth chart. Okay, and then, thank you, my loves. Hey guys, come on in. So you look at where Aries is in your chart, and you also look at where your Neptune is in your chart. Okay, so wherever Neptune is in your chart, that's where that house plus the first house, or that house plus Aries house, is going to be the two topics or the conjoining of what is happening. So for me, I'm going to use me as an example. My Aries is in the 12th house, right? My Aries is in the 12th house and my Neptune is in the 8th house. So this is talking about, could be my spirituality, things that are hidden from me, and hidden enemies. And this is also talking about death and rebirth and other people's money, and it could also be taxes, right? So these could be growth or rebirth through somebody or in connection with somebody. And this could also expose enemies, right? And there may be some catalyst moments that bring renewal, spiritual renewal, right? So look at where your Neptune is and where your Aries is, and these are the areas of your life that this Neptune retrograde is going to hit. Okay, now I believe Saturn is already in Aries, right? Let's check. Not yet. In May. So do you see that they're all going to be in the house of Aries? There's going to be listen, this year it's about the self, and that house, wherever the Aries house falls in your chart, that is going to be a main focal point for at least the next year. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what Spirit wants to tell us about these next 2 weeks, and you know what we should be looking at in concentration to this Mercury retrograde that is coming right before the Neptune in Aries cycle begins. Spirit, can you show me, please? And I feel like I want to say this. There's going to be big realizations around people in power here and other places too. Okay? And exposing of conversations. I feel like the comedian is going to find out he has more allies than he knew. please like and follow, please. Okay, number 42. Glasses on. Hi, guys. Hi, my loves. Come on in. All right, number 42. Also, well, we'll talk about that after I read this. Kanyini. In each other we find ourselves. There is a spiritual purpose that only you can fulfill. As you move forward on your journey, you create space for others to move along behind you. And as the ones ahead of you move forward, so too does room open up for expansion. Upon this earth, we are all building the sacred temple, each fulfilling our task as we assist and support each other in our collective divine mission. How can you help with your heart most actively engaged? What can you offer which inspires and energizes you so much that others are uplifted in your presence? How can you receive from others joyfully, bringing them pleasure? Engage in giving and receiving deeply and with devotion. Your wisdom and openness to life generates healing for our earth. And I'm getting that there's something here about, because we always talk about in the Mercury retrograde that it's not really good to try to go back and fix things with others, but rather with yourself. I feel like this going back and fixing things with ourselves is going to have to do something with the fear mechanism and standing on business, fear mechanism and breaking the chains that bind, fear mechanism and jumping anyway, fear mechanism and being suppressed, fear mechanism and moving away from the things that tell us that we have to rely on old systems because they're safe when they're actually detrimental to what we're trying to build. Okay, so let's see what the prayer is according to this. May all beings know peace, divine love, and merciful protection. May each one of us know true belonging and fulfill our sacred purpose with open hearts and willing minds. So be it, right? So there's going to be a lot of things externally, right, that are trying to tell us that we should go back and cling to the old. And in reality, the reason why that message is being broadcast or being projected is because that system needs us to survive. I'm getting like asthma, like, right? Resuscitation, needing to be put on life support. So something's on life support, but because it's on life support, it is flailing and right. So if you ever seen, which hopefully you haven't, but if you've ever seen somebody who thought they were drowning, they will do anything to stay afloat, right? My mother's not a swimmer. And I remember as a child, she had gotten into a pool and didn't realize that it was as deep as it was. And she started to go down like a brick. And my stepfather, who was fully dressed by the side of the pool, once he recognized that she was in trouble, he jumped in completely clothed. And as he approached her, she grabbed onto him. And then she stepped on his fucking head because she was trying to get air, right? So saving a drowning person can be very dangerous, right? You have to save them from behind, okay? So what I'm saying to you is that this system that is failing is very dangerous right now. Okay, it's very dangerous right now because it's flailing and it will step on anybody's head to catch a breath. Okay, so give it a wide fucking birth. This is why we're not outside, because we are letting that shit, right, exhaust itself flailing around. Okay, let's get the question of the week. Now, for my lovely soul tribe, it seems that every day this week, as much as I tried, there is a doctor's appointment for somebody in my household. However, tomorrow I have to take my son to go get some blood work. So I hope to be able to do at least half of the private Q&A. For those of you that don't know, my Patreoners get to ask a private question every month. Okay. So tomorrow we will start that. Okay. I'm doing the best I can. I'm up under a clock. And we'll get into why and on Patreon. Okay, Spirit. Question of the week. And it came out in reverse. Okay. If it says you become what you give your attention to, and it came out in reverse. So we are recognizing that we are sovereign beings who have the ability to attach and detach. What's good, Cynthia? From the things that no longer serve us and what we want to give life, breath to. The question says, if I were to have a transcript of every thought I had in the last week, how often would I see myself focusing on what I don't like? How often would I see myself feeling grateful? We are very aware now. I think this is because of what happened with COVID and us being indoors and having to connect in different ways, that we've become very aware of the of what we give our energy to. And I think that's excellent. I think we should be doing that. Okay? I think we should very much be doing that. I feel like we know that there's a 2-slit experiment, okay? And they were shooting like light or energy through these slits, and it was causing a pattern. And they were like, well, that's weird. It's causing this pattern. How is it getting through the slits? Right? So they set up in a different way and observed the slits. And what they realized is that the light pattern changed. So what did that mean? That just us observing something changed the outcome. It made it real. It made it tangible, right? So now that we know this, we are very careful as to what we give our attention to, right? Why would you feed the beast? And we've done that. I feel like throughout history, but especially since the 80s. Okay. Now that's coming to a head. All right, Spirit. Can you show me what it is that we need to know at this time in regards to this Mercury retrograde that starts on Friday, and what to expect in those 2 weeks while we're waiting for that Neptune and Aries to kick off? With the Venus retrograde, what is the energy surrounding the collective at this time? And how can they best use this to their advantage? Can you show me, Spirit, what is it that the collective needs to know right now, and how they can best use this to serve themselves and their families? Okay, Spirit, can you show me with clarity and precision, please? 8 of Cups. And I'm leaving you again, and I thought I'd tell you when. I know how you must feel, and if your love is real, you'll try to understand. Something is going. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords. Divided we fall, together we stand, or some shit. And I feel like this has to do with feminine energy, or something to do with the other woman, and when I say that, I'm saying on a macro, right? So this could be like women being used against other women, or something like that. You have out here the Knight of Swords. You have out here the Seven of Wands, uprisings. You have out here the Empress crossed. You have the Queen of Cups crossed. You have the Chariot and the Queen of Wands in the upright with the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Underneath the Emperor, we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, there were several plans. Look at the women under the glass. It's so weird that I said it had something to do with women. And then the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, the Queen of Queens, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, she knows her worth. There's a pushback coming. Underneath that is the Nine of Cups. Problem is, we don't drink from the skulls of our enemies anymore. Okay, but there's something to do with the feminine energy and the Emperor. So let's delve in. Let's take a look at what is going on, what Spirit is trying to tell us here with this specific arrangement of cards. Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck with the Chariot underneath. Before I even get started, what's good, Rach? Yesterday I saw a video that said that someone, that person, put up a pink triangle in reverse with a do not sign going through it, which is a specific dog whistle to a particular time against the LGBTQ community and what they were doing to them in that time, that they were also doing the Star of David. I'm going to say this, and I thought about this shit last night. You know when the point is to go outside? When they try to put anyone in a chamber. Anyone. What's good, divine leaders? Anyone for any reason. Whether it's a religious reason, whether it is, their preference, their sexual preference, their race. If anyone tries to eliminate someone else based on any period, point blank, and they try to put any kind of chambers, if you follow what I'm saying, we got to all go outside. Spirit, Six of Pentacles. They hoping we scared. Eight of Swords coming out crossed. King of Swords, that's you know who, right? Giving him something he can feel. I take one, you take two. Knight of Swords. He thought he was going to just be able to bully the shit. And that people, thank you so much for the love, guys. He thought that he was just going to be able to bully the shit. What's good, favor, Nosa, right? Thought that he was just going to bully the shit. Look at the Empress, right? And that people would just, get along, go along to get along. But the Knight of Swords showed up. Now, he really wanted a particular group to come outside, as you can see it right here. Right? But Big Mama said no, right? The 92% said no. Knight of Swords. Spirit, can you show me? What's the Knight of Swords? Right, because they wanted to wield the sword of justice, but they don't recognize that they're not the one who holds it. The star is, the divine is holding this the sword. And the Seven of Cups, The reason why this is Neptune energy right here. Okay, so the reason why 6 and 6, okay, the reason why the 7 of Cups, okay, is here is because although we don't know what is coming, there has something to do here about bravery and standing in the gap of freedom, right? Even if it means that we have to go without some shit. Thank you for the love, Jessica, right? And then the devil, in the face of the devil, right? And ever stand ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, right? So this is all what's good, Brianna, right? 10 of Swords. And we out here knowing that the shit could go bad. 7 of Wands. Uprising. Look at the picture real good. Bet you didn't see that coming. Look at the crowd and look whose faces those are. It's happening again. They didn't see that coming. Look at the 92% still at home. Here goes the Empress cross, but we antsy, right? And she's at one with all the forces of the mystical realms of the universe. And it's crossed because we out of sorts, because we like, you know, the tension, them trying to coerce us, them trying to lure us, them trying to tempt us back, right? With the Derek Chauvin and the Black Lives Matter being torn up off the street, and right, the doing away of things that they think will hurt us, even if it's hurting their own communities, right? And what did I say? That we were blocking out and not giving energy or resuscitating that which is on life support, because although what we see is telling us that there's something nefarious, we also know that by giving it energy or giving it what it wants, that it will be fanned and brought to life, right? So the Queen of Cups here cross, Spirit, why? We have a silent movement. Absolutely. Absolutely. A silent movement, right? 3 of Pentacles crossed. Look at the Queen of Cups. We feel emotionally disturbed by everything that we see, right? We want to fight it, but we know that our own insecurities, our own sons and daughters will be harmed. So we take another method. We are being patient. We are using our money to get our point across. We're not collaborating the way we normally do. This collaboration looks different, feels different, right? Knight of Cups. We're encouraging other communities, right? That we will support them emotionally, if not physically, while they right, chart a new way. Let them go first. While they chart a new way forward. 3 of Wands for the future. Right? And look, you know, the sun represents the masculine energy, but look at that little girl. Right? Because the future is feminine. Yeah, I said it. The Chariot. Spirit. Another feminine card. We're going to move forward. And they're saying, no, you're not. No, you can't. You can't go. You can't do this, right? We're like, lies. Those are lies. You're trying to get us to believe in your lies. The five of swords crossed. Your manipulation isn't fully working. We do feel the restriction. We do feel your intent. Page of Cups. But we also recognize that you don't have all that you need to be able to inflict what you want. And if we don't pour water, we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Right? 4 cups. So we've taken a bed. We're relaxing. 7 of Pentacles. Right? We recognize that it's not enough, it's not time, it's that it's not ready, that people are not ready, right? The Queen of Wands, Spirit, why is the Queen of Wands here? Here comes the rain again. The melody. Right? So you have the Queen of Wands with the 10 of Pentacles. You know what we are going to do? We're going to concentrate on our fucking coin. We're going to make smart investments. Right? What's good, Amor? And I don't want to give out, this is a collective. Yeah. I don't want to, and if you want to see it from the beginning, you can go over to YouTube and you'll get the whole message. I don't want to promote, use your discernment, right? But did you know that Bitcoin is down like $20,000 and that you can buy Bitcoin in small amounts? Bitcoin will come back up. All these stocks that are tanking right now, right? What somebody else's heartbreak could be your motherfucking come up, babes. What am I saying? I'm saying that my spiritual people, my 92%, those of us that are waiting, right? Before we come outside, right? There's money to be made right now, Spirit said. Okay? Eventually, everyone will come outside. Spirit said around April 17th. And I had been saying that for a couple of months because the Mars will go back to its original point before before Mars goes back to the original point it was before the retrograde began. And that's going to have that natural opposition that I was talking about earlier, right? But you know what else? Yeah, it's going to get wiped out. And then what's going to happen? They're going to start again, right? Anyway, stay with me. They're going to switch things up financially. Those of us that can make some smart investments now, and I know what I'm saying, watch what they're attacking and what they're afraid of. I'm going to tell you guys a mini story. Okay, I'm going to tell you a mini story. And I don't, listen, as you see, there's not mad people in here. Okay, I feel like sometimes real spiritists, they don't get the shine. Okay, we're going to talk about some shit right now. In 2009, I started right after, because President Obama at that time won, right? And he came into office, right? He started in 2009. What was one of his things that he said? He said, I'm going to give out, what was it, $8,000 to anybody first-time buyer, right, on a home, right? Right? And what was happening? The car industry was tanking. and the home market fucking collapsed. Y'all remember this? 2008 into 2009. So when I heard that he was doing the $8,000 and I had came into like a tiny bit of bread, I bought a motherfucking house. But I didn't buy a regular house in my neighborhood because that at the time I lived in Jersey, right? So what I could have bought, the house that I did purchase, stay with me. If I'd have bought that in my neighborhood, it would have been like $750,000. No fucking lie. But instead, I bought a house, very big house with a full basement, everything, right? For 150, little less than $150,000 in Ohio, right? Everybody thought I was fucking crazy. Like, why the fuck would you move to Ohio? You're a city girl. What do you know about Ohio? Yada, 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 yada. Meanwhile, I'm manifesting the whole fucking time, right? Sidebar. I didn't have no job. Listen, if you want to learn how to manifest, you'll follow me. So I purchased this fucking house, right? First time buyer's loan, right? I do all the things. My credit was bad. I made it go up by like, 200-300 points in like, I don't know, 60 days, some crazy shit, right? I end up with the house. I stay there for about 10 years. When I sold that house, because the neighborhood was underwater because they had bought the houses before the bubble, right? So the houses were like 250, yada, yada, yada. I came in under a less than 150. Those people in that neighborhood was mad as hell because I was bringing down the property value because I bought when the bubble was down. Are you following what I'm saying? When I left, right? By the shore, right? I was living in Bayonne, but I'm a Harlem baby that was living in Bayonne, New Jersey, which is by Jersey City, right? So when I finished, I made like almost $200,000 profit. You get what I'm saying? I don't come out here and tell my motherfucking business. Okay. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now is the time. Now they're peeling away the money because the money isn't worth what it was. If you know, you know. And after COVID, they made sure to drain everybody dry right before they did this. Why? Because they don't want you getting in on the bottom. But now's the time to get in on the bottom. All right, so let's look at the Emperor that's at the bottom. That was at the bottom of the deck. Now, what they keep doing is they're raising the rent, they're raising this, they're raising that. So that way, the cost of living, everything that you get, you end up putting back into the system. Okay, but look what just came out. We're realizing that their thing is like coming from us, or like how they suck off of us, right? Or that it's all ego driven and that they need us. We're also realizing that we can become fucking emperors too. Okay, with the 9 of Pentacles, right? And that with the 2 of Cups here. It's about what we align ourselves to. Couples that are of like minds, that get on some let's make some money shit, they're gonna get paid. Okay, I'm definitely seeing that. There's also people who've been together maybe for a while, but they didn't get married. They're gonna get married. They're gonna shore up things. Okay. Okay, these individuals, masculine or feminine, that are for the streets, they're getting left alone. Nobody wants a liability right now, male or female, gay or straight. Okay? We don't got time for the fucking shenanigans. And we don't want to deal with people that are financial liabilities. We're now, the shift has taken place, right? Where if you're not for the community, for humanity, for the future, for the masses, for Earth, right? For all these things, you're not going to be included. And so those people that was just trying to run from person to person and take advantage, they're going down with the ship. They're getting the needing the resuscitation. Right? It's time to make a choice. See, she's got a cell phone in her hand. Right? And what we no longer want to give our energy to, and what we are keeping alive, and what we really want is the Ace of Cups and the All Consciousness and the Knight of Pentacles, and it's taken us so very long to get there, right? And the Five of Cups, and we see that they're trying to strip away everything, that all the little things that we have tried to build and to come together right now, right? The King of Wands, the action is coming. Ace of Swords, the truth, and the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Cups, and how the women are somehow going to be leading this push. Okay? I am going to pull one more card for you guys. Well, I say one more card, but Spirit really gets to decide what comes out. Let me just move some of this, because I feel like Spirit wants to talk about some of these masculines real quick before I go. Because there are certain masculines, one in particular, Starman, who has very strong Cancer energy, and he's about to go through the motherfucking paces. And by the time Aries leaves Cancer, ain't no telling the condition he gonna be in. Okay? Ain't no telling the condition he gonna be in. Show me what I need to know about these masculines and what they're trying to do. So around, let me just back up 1 second. When I said the April 17th, it also turns out that this particular person wrote a executive order. What's up, Livy? An executive order back when they first came in, saying that 90 days later, they would be looking at how they did in the removal of individuals, and they would assess what else might be needed, including, this was written in it, including the Insurrection Act, which basically would be like a Marshall type situation. And that person is supposed to have the heads of those departments report to them on the 20th, so that they can make their recommendations. So what does that mean? That as April 17th, the opposition of Pluto and Mars becomes right at each other with a square to Uranus, a day or two later, this guy is supposed to get a report on whether he should order for Insurrection Act. And if that happens, you already know what's going to happen. So maybe that's why Spirit said that it was them. So what do we got? Somebody's trying to take land. We already know about that. And somebody else who wants to take land. So there's two people in conflicts that are trying to take lands that are not theirs. We already know who they are. And now they are trying to get the third one, which is here to mess with Mexico and Canada and all this other stuff. Right now, gathering aid. These are the other countries pushing against what this country is doing on the word of someone in another country. Integration is here, and the scribe. History will not be kind to this. And the judges are here at the bottom of the deck. So let's clarify these real quick. Spirit, why is this land steward here crossed with the Four of Pentacles? They're going to be made to hold back. So in all those places that I mentioned, what's good, Tammy? In all those places that I just mentioned, including here, they're going to be limited as to what they can do because those other places, UK, France, they're all coming together, come together right now and having secret meetings about the devil and the Eight of Pentacles and how to restrict this fucking devil. You see what I'm saying? I can't make it up. Right? What money do they have to put into the pot to assist? Right? Five of Cups. Right? Before they lose something and the Queen of Swords is standing. Right? So integration is here. Spirit, why is the integration card here? So the integration card is coming out with the Six of Swords. We're going to find a way to go to calmer waters. Some of this also has to do with us recognizing, like I said, what we give our energy to is what we bring to life. You see the missing puzzle pieces are coming together. Right? What's at the bottom of the deck? The Two of Swords. Okay. Scribe. Spirit, why is the scribe here? So the scribe is here with the Page of Pentacles, opportunity for Plutonian energy or death. Somebody's ringing the bell. Okay, somebody is quite literally in fucking danger. And this person has some things in their birth chart that sits on the angle star in Taurus that says off with their head. It's the Medusa energy. This person, whether real or orchestrated, has already had two incidences. And the other day, there was a third when the person was not there. Everybody's talking about 8647, da 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 da. If you know, you know. If you don't, go look it up, put in the search bar, right? And it's very likely that this person could have a meet your maker moment that is very real and that could be orchestrated as a medical event or other to reset, and put an end to a chapter so that they can write about it in the past tense. You feel me? Queen of Swords, because Lady Justice ain't fucking pleased right now. Okay? And you have the Judge at the bottom of the deck with the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Wands and the Moon. So it came out like this. Nine of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Moon. Just like this. Okay? So what is this saying? Judges, good morning, Elizabeth. Right? Knight of Cups, the Nine of Wands. They may try to enforce something afterwards, like, oh, well, we're going to stick to the plan after the expiration. And we're like, no, the fuck you not. No, you not, boo-boo. Boo-boo the fool. And the Seven of Pentacles and Seven of Wands is here. They thought they could, but, they couldn't. And then the Moon came out cross because we see them fucking coming. Okay, we see them coming. And they want us to cry over spilled milk. But we're going to have our swords drawn. Okay, so that is the message. It's on life support, gang. Which is why they wowing, because they drowning. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down. I'm drowning, right? So just remember that, guys. Okay? It may not look like it, but they on the fucking ropes. Do be ready, though, in April to head outside. Okay, gang? I am wishing you light and love. I am off to run to the doctors. Bye, guys. Okay, my loves. I will see you guys tomorrow.